welcome. Today I have another flip-flop journal, and first off I want to say I recently had surgery, so my hands are quite the mess. I had infusions and they leaked, and so please disregard all the mess on my hands. But I'm starting with some ephemera background. The page already has a nice music page, so I often just keep portions of that and cover up a little more. And then this is one of my favorite vintage looking journal or ledger pages, and so I'm just gonna add that to half. So I'm gonna have half music, half ledger, which is really kind of my two favorite things. I'm gluing on the one side, and I'm going to be doing some stamping with some embossing. This circle I'm going to add is a scrap or punched out from a jelly print that I did, and this one I think actually was of paints, acrylic paints. I do have some that I've done with distress inks, and I might do a video on that sometime. Jelly printing is pretty fun. And I'm just adding that for a little more something on the page. And now I'm just going to stamp some berry bushes down at the bottom, because I think you saw my little not so little bee that's going to go on, and so I think he would have to be humming around something that was going to give him some food, so I decided to make it some sort of this berry stamp. This I think is from Penny Black. Something berries. It'll be in the description. I can't remember what the name exactly of it is, but I got it on Simon Says Stamp. And I'm going to be embossing with gold. And you're going to see I'm coming near the end of the inside of the flip-flop, the flip part of it. So you're going to see that it's kind of hard to do it when it's so uneven sided. One side's real thick, one side's real thin. So I always kind of lift mine up. There, I spilled some embossing powder. But I lift mine up with some ink pads. And in this case, I also had a stamping platform behind because I knew I was going to stamp. And then I'm just with a dry paintbrush flicking off any of the excess. I think a lot stuck to it because it still is a little damp from the glue behind it. So the rest of it's going to go back in the pot. And I'll emboss it with my heat tool. I can tell I haven't got my complete voice back. I was intubated in that surgery that I just had recently, and my voice just quite isn't normal yet. I tell you, one of my favorite things in art is to watch gold embossing powder turn cold. It's just amazing to me. Whoever thought of that? Genius. And I'm just going to do a little bit of trimming. There's only just this one little edge that is sticking out. And you wouldn't have to. You could leave it. I mean, I leave some things hanging out over the sides. But that one just didn't seem natural for it to be hanging out. I'm going to get rid of the platform because I'm not going to be stamping anymore. And the stamp pad will give me enough lift to finish the piece. I'm going to add a little bit of vintage photo around the edges. And there's the beautiful bee in all her gold armor. This is actually a different download, I think. I bought 3 bee downloads. So 2 of them, they're all pinkish, but 2 of them look very similar. But one I think is a bunch of gold bodies. The other one is mixed. And I'm just pointing out that in these wings you see images of like little diamond studs or things like that. So I actually have a sheet of little diamond studs. So I'm going to put one over each of the big ones, just so it's just 2 total, one on each wing on the largest printed stud that's in the picture, in the digital. I'm gonna, of course, add a few other little pieces. I have this number. You know me, gotta have my numbers. And then I'm looking for a couple other things to put in. This is a fairly new one. It's really kind of rusty, but I like it. I liked it because it had numbers and letters, and sometimes just letters. So I thought that would be good to have as a mix. And then this vintage label. I'm just kind of staggering them. I'll have all the links to these digital items in the description. I buy them off different shops on Etsy and print them on 90-pound paper with actually I was going to say color laser printer, but actually I just take mine to Office Depot and use their self-serve color printer. Color copier. But someone just told me recently that if you take it to your local library, it's less expensive. So I'm definitely going to try that out. So I glued the body down and wasn't really thinking about it because I normally, with butterflies, only glue the body down. But with this one, I thought, well, those legs are pretty tender sticking out there. So I decided to um, glue the legs down as well. I'm going to add some of my homemade vintage tape. And this was an asked and answered. Someone asked how I did it, so I answered it. So I have an asked and answered playlist, and you can see how to make this tape yourself. It's pretty easy. So I'm only adding 2 pieces, which does break my rule of 3s, but rules are meant to be broken. And then I'm gonna, just in the upper right, just seemed like it needed something else. So I'm just gonna add a piece of my waffle paper that I cut on my Cricut. And this was just a pattern that was in the Cricut, but it kind of reminded me of a honeycomb pattern. It's not. I intentionally didn't choose a honeycomb pattern, but I think this is close enough. And then I'm just going to glue it down kind of partially under the wing. And the very top that's going out over the music page, I do add glue right there, but I don't press it down because I want that to be able to just kind of lift up. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add a sentiment. I'm using the clippings sticker book from Tim Holtz. And yes, they are stickers, but I always glue mine down just because I don't want the sticker glue to, in a few years dry up and I lose my sentiment. So I'm just gluing that down. And that, I believe, is it. Like I said, everything will be listed, other links will be listed in the description. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to do so. If you like this piece, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Got some final pictures coming up, but y'all have a wonderful day.